I don't know what I thought this was going to be, but I didn't expect to leave this book rooting for Linda with all my heart. Hi everyone, my name is Uzo and welcome to my channel. Decided to make a book channel because I love talking about books and I feel like the little 2 minutes on TikTok are just not doing it. Like I want to talk for longer and I want to talk more in depth about the books that I'm reading. TikTok people they only want to be there for just a little bit of time, and if you want to talk in depth about things, I think YouTube's just the place for that. So welcome to my channel. I'm really excited to be here. Today we're going to be talking about Sky Daddy by Kate Folk. I went to DC on a trip and we went into this cutie little bookstore and automatically the title caught my eye. So I picked it up and I read the description and just the colors of the cover, the picture of the plane, almost phallic-like shooting through the sky. It caught my eye. What can I say? And I'm always looking for more books about just unhinged women. We are in this golden era of unhinged female protagonists. We have Big Swiss, we have female fantasy, we have 200 Monas. These are all books that I absolutely adored about just very, very, very crazy women. And this one takes the cake. It doesn't beat 200 Monas, if you guys don't know. I'm probably going to do a recap on that book because I want to always remember what happened forever. That, I think, is the funniest, most unhinged book I've read this year. I would 100% recommend it to anyone who wants to read it. I digress. This book is about a woman named Linda who just turned 30, and she decides that it's time for her to settle down, as most 30-year-old women do. You know, like, maybe it's time for me to start thinking seriously about getting a husband. She lives in San Francisco. She works at a social media company, moderating comments. She just lives a very normal life. She rents a room in someone's basement, which is not up to code. It's definitely illegal. It's definitely a legal situation. She rides the bus. She doesn't own a car. She has a best friend named Karina. She wants to settle down. The only issue is that she is only attracted to planes, like airplanes. Commercial airliners, jets. She loves planes. She's sexually attracted to planes. She does not like humans. Ever since her sexual awakening when she was 13, when she got on a flight and the engine exploded, she has just felt an affinity and a closeness to planes. She knows they have souls, and she doesn't want to listen to any reason. I'm literally going to have to insert this in. Linda's mission in life is that she wants to die in a plane crash. She doesn't even want to describe it as a plane crash. She wants to be united with the plane in eternal marriage. She wants a plane, in her eyes, to die in a plane crash will be a plane choosing her. And just when she gets on the plane views her as his soulmate and wants to be with her forever. Therefore, it wants to crash and keep her with him for all of eternity. She thinks that's the ultimate way of being chosen by what she thinks are the loves of her life. And the thing about this book that was so surprising to me is how it just took that idea, that very simple concept, and it didn't try to dumb it down for us. Like, it really just bought into this absurdity and went full throttle into it. That's what I love the most about it. This book follows Linda and the absolute loneliness that is her life. She works at a job making $20 an hour, and she uses her money on the last Friday of every month. She goes on a plane ride to just it doesn't matter where, as long as she's in an airplane. I think this book was such a great picture of loneliness. Linda spends so much time on her own. She goes to the airport and just rides around on the train around the airport because she wants to see the plane. She goes to a diner that has these big, great windows so she can just sit down and watch the planes fly in and fly out. And her life really starts to blossom when her friend Karina also works at the moderation company and invites her to a vision board brunch, a VBB. The prose in this book is distinct. I think that's what really works about this book. Like, Kate Folk, pat yourself on the back. The prose in this book is amazing. Linda's voice is so distinct. You could read a passage of this anywhere. You could put a paragraph, you know how they're like Shakespeare or Taylor Swift? If you showed me a passage from this book 20 years in the future, I would know it was Linda. Let me read a passage of the book for you on my little Kindle here. Right now I'm reading House of Breath and Sky. So this passage is from when she's really nervous because it was vandalism at her company. A head honcho from the parent company of where she works at is coming to come visit. So this is her, Linda, deciding what she wants to wear to the office that day. Next day I dressed carefully in the same outfit I'd interviewed in. A striped button-down shirt from H&M, black trousers from Target, and a marl gray cardigan that reached almost to my knees. I always felt more confident with the shape of my buttocks obscured. It's just so her. As I belong nowhere on the conventional spectrum of sexual orientation, I allowed people to assume I was heterosexual. And I suppose I was, as all planes are male in spirit, just as all boats are female, and helicopters possess the souls of mischievous children. That's so Linda, like, we're gonna go into the things that I love about this book. This is my Kindle case. I just got another Kindle for Prime Day because this one has a crack right down the middle. And I think I would really like Night Switch. And, you know, it's Prime Day. It's never gonna be cheaper. I didn't get myself anything for my birthday. I just got a raise. Why am I trying to justify this? I wanted a new Kindle. I got a new Kindle. This is a hand-me-down Kindle for my parents. So this is, I think, the first Kindle Paperwhite. Look at the charger plug for it. They don't even make stuff like this anymore. This is like, I don't even know what USB this is. This is like if you had a DS, this is the charger for a DS. This isn't even like USB-C or anything like that. This Kindle's old. So I think it was just time for an upgrade. I'm going to trade this in too. So love this. I'm going to miss it. Everything came separately for Prime Day. So I have the case right now, but no Kindle. But I'm going to do an unboxing video and like a setup video because I love watching those. So let me make one. I have a list. Things that I love from Sky Daddy. The first thing that I loved was Linda. Like I said before, Kate, if you're watching this girl, pat yourself on the back, take yourself out to dinner. Kate's voice was so distinct. I think it was so easy to go into this book thinking that I was just gonna be spending the entire book laughing at her and making fun of her. I don't know what I thought this was gonna be, but I didn't expect to leave this book rooting for Linda with all my heart. I don't know if you guys watch Never Have I Ever, Devi Vishwakumar. Linda is very much like Devi Vishwakumar, like so earnest, so romantic, very delusional, but just has a heart of gold and doesn't want to see anyone get hurt, but just continually makes mistakes. But she has a good heart. Linda has a great heart. And I think we need more stories being told about women who are they're just a hot mess. I wasn't expecting to leave this book absolutely charmed by her. I also loved how unjudgmental the writer was when writing these characters. I think oftentimes in new books I'm reading nowadays, the writers were so judgmental towards the side characters. Maybe this is just Linda as a character, but she's just not judgmental. And I think the writer just was so tender in the way that she wrote every character in the book. She wasn't casting blame onto anyone. It wasn't about right or wrong. It wasn't about morality. She just really trusted the audience to be able to form our own opinions about these characters. I loved how nothing was really like spelled out for the characters. Like, oh, you're supposed to hate this character. Oh, this character is just all around that. This book really understood the complexities of people, in my opinion, right? There's this character in the book, Simon. Simon's one of my favorite characters in this book. Simon lied to Linda. Linda made a dating profile on like OkCupid and she wanted to find a date. She wanted to date a pilot. So she puts in her bio, like, I only want to date pilots. If you're not a pilot, don't slide up. I don't care. Like, I only want to date a pilot. This dude, Simon, swipes up on her and they schedule a date and they go to the date and he's just like, hey, I just want to be straight with you. I'm not a pilot. And she was like, fuck, I only want to date a pilot. So like, why would you let me come here if you're not a pilot? And he's like, well, I don't know. And like immediately I'm just like, bro, this guy's kind of a scumbag. And I felt like one of the things that I liked about this book was that it was so many books. Like I just finished Yesteryear and I can make a video about Yesteryear as well. Honestly, I would love to. But in a lot of these books, the people almost become caricatures and they're not necessarily like characters. I understand that no characters are real people. Characters are supposed to represent something. Characters are plot devices. But the characters in this book did not descend into caricatures of what they were supposed to represent. They stayed very three-dimensional. Yes, Simon is like a doofus, like just kind of a shitty dude, but he has his moments where he's lit. And that's just everyone in life. That's why I think I really enjoyed the Testaments TV show as well, because not everyone who does bad things, no one can be bad all the time. Nobody can be bad all the time. It's impossible. How would you sleep at night? Even the worst people in the world can tell a good joke. They can make you giggle. They can make you laugh. And I think Kate Folk really understands this when she was writing this book, right? Like Simon turned out to be every time I was seeing his name on the book, I would just sit down and smile because I knew I was about to laugh. Like those are the type of characters that you just love. I don't want to see a character just turning to this snarling, vicious, conniving douchebag of a character. I want to see real people. Sometimes, I don't know. I just think that the way this was done in this book was just masterful. The character design in this book, masterful. Everyone had, just like Linda, everyone had these intense flaws. I mean, if you can call Loving Plains a flaw, I'm going to call it a flaw, low key. I don't know if you guys watched the drama with Zendaya. Kind of spoiler alert, Zendaya planned to do something awful. She never actually did it, but the planning of it is honestly bad enough. But all these other people have also done awful things. But it's also like, where is the line of what you're willing to forgive and what you're not willing to forgive? I think this book kind of puts that in a different scale, right? Here we have this girl who, by all intents and purposes, right? Like, to every extent, this girl is strange. She's a weirdo. She's a freak. She knows it. Everyone else in her life kind of knows it, but they don't know to the extent. But when they find out to the extent, all these people all have their own flaws as well. All of these people have their own flaws as well. But I think the way that the characters were handled was just so forgiving. It was so, like I said before, so tender. If you guys like Fleabag, I keep on bringing in all these other things to compare this book to. but it's like the tenderness that the writers used when they were writing Fleabag. My favorite scene in this book is when she makes the vision board, and on her vision board, she puts the CEO of Delta Airlines on her vision board. And when she goes to the airport, she sees the CEO of Delta Airlines, and she's like, oh my gosh, the vision board works. And she goes up to him and she's like, I'm your biggest fan. Thank you for all you do. And he's just like, you're welcome. Like, doesn't even know what the fuck to say. I think when I was reviewing this book on Goodreads, I was seeing a lot of people talk about the pacing of this book and talking about how nothing happened or how they felt like nothing happened. My thing is about literary fiction. I think this book does fall into the literary fiction category of things. Why are you reading literary fiction expecting it to be a jam-packed, action-packed action book, bro? This is not sci-fi. This isn't fantasy romance. This is literary fiction. This book is about people and their emotions and how they feel about things in their everyday life. This book isn't about coups. This book is not about political intrigue. This book is not about any of that. This book is about Linda and her life. So I don't understand why people keep on picking up literary fiction books that are recommended by people who love literary fiction and expecting them to be these like, this is not Jason Bourne, bro. This is Sky Daddy. I'm sorry. This is like, I don't know, going to watch an indie movie and being like, bro, this was boring because it's not like the Avengers. It wasn't ever going to be like the Avengers. Okay? It's The Shape of Water. It's not supposed to be this super, like, fast-paced stuff. And I don't know when fast-paced became synonymous with a good book. When did fast-paced become synonymous with good? Fast-paced does not always mean a book is good. Right now I'm reading Crescent City, right? Crescent City book 1 was too fast-paced in my opinion. Like, what the hell is even going on, bro? Can we slow down and talk about this? Why we gotta jump from this to this to this? I'm reading Crescent City book 2 right now. In one day, the dude gets in a fight. They got a new archangel coming to lead the place. Her new fiance comes and visits her and intimidates her. And they find out that there's a missing child on the loose that they have to hunt down. Like, that's too much to happen in one day, in my opinion. So I did appreciate the pacing of this book. I think it's a good change of pace. I think it was beautiful. I think it really brought you into Linda's life and you got to walk a mile in her shoes and walk a few months, 6 months in her life. That's what I'm asking for when I'm looking for a literary fiction book. I'm not looking for all this, all that, bro. I'm looking to have some slow fun. This is a beach read. This isn't, I don't know what people are expecting, honestly. But to me, the pacing was fast. I flew through this book. There would be many nights, it'd be 3 a.m. I would say, I don't want to go to sleep. I want to read more of this. I would stay up till like 3 or 4, just reading one more chapter. This book was read in nights. I didn't even pick up this book during the day. I would be laying in bed like, I wonder how Linda's doing. I'll pull out my book, I'll pull out my Kindle, and I'll figure out how Linda's doing. I need to talk about Karina. Karina is Linda's best friend. She also works at the moderation company. Karina is a germaphobe. Karina is kind of judgmental. Karina's not that great of a friend. She's just dealing with a lot. I don't even know if it's fair to say that she's not that great of a friend. I think it's just very clear and evident with the bits and pieces that we see of Karina that she's going through a lot. Her life doesn't look the way that she wants it to look. She doesn't work a job that she wants to work. Her fiance, her boyfriend doesn't love her the way that she wants to be loved. She just feels kind of stuck. All of her friends kind of prefer other friends over her. Karina is one of my favorite characters. I don't know how this book would have worked without a character like Karina because I think it was just very beautiful to see Linda see someone that she aspired to be and see that even though someone's life may look perfect and you may think like, oh, this girl is so normal, oh, this girl is so perfect, she's so stylish, she's so beautiful, she has a fiance and her life is just all figured out. There's still some things under the surface that are weird and strange and bad about her, just like you. And I think that when we read books and stories like this, expecting that everyone underneath the surface is beautiful and pearlescent and pure, we do ourselves a disservice when we try to whitewash Linda's insanity to make everyone else around her seem like they're also trash as well. Everyone everywhere has things about them that they don't like about themselves, has mistakes that they've made, have quirks. Like Linda's quirk is that she loves planes. Karina's quirks are that she's really jealous and that sometimes whenever she's angry, she lashes out at people. That's her quirk. We all have our quirks. I don't think we can just say like, oh, she just likes planes. She's not hurting anybody. To love Linda, we have to accept Linda for who she is. And me accepting her for who she is me understanding that this is a part of her. And I think that was a transformation that Karina had to make as well, which is why I love her. I don't think there was a character in this book that I didn't love. I even love Dave. Yeah, he has his flaws. He has his flaws, capital F flaws, but at the end of the day, he wouldn't allow himself to be blackmailed, so I love him. Sorry. I loved Kevin, the landlord's son, who's a very interesting, funny, cool character. Now let's get into the ending. I'm going to read the ending for you. So throughout the story, Linda loves planes and her best friend Karina is deathly afraid of flying. So they decide to do a joint flight. Like they're going to fly together somewhere. Obviously, since Linda flies for fun, she would be the perfect person for Karina to go flying with. Right? So Karina's fiance is like, I would really appreciate if you take Karina flying so we can have a great honeymoon because she's too afraid to fly that she doesn't even want to go on her honeymoon. So they book these joint tickets and they get on the plane. And as soon as they get on the plane, Linda's like, bro, this plane is speaking to me. This plane is speaking to me. I know that this plane wants to crash. Did I not mention this during the entire book? Linda's life goal, Linda's mission in life is that I'm literally going to have to insert this in. Linda's mission in life is that she wants to die in a plane crash. I'm being brash in her words. She doesn't even want to describe it as a plane crash. She wants to be united with the plane in eternal marriage. She wants a plane, in her eyes, to die in a plane crash would be a plane choosing her. And just when she gets on the plane views her as his soulmate and wants to be with her forever. Therefore, it wants to crash and keep her with him for all of eternity. She thinks that's the ultimate way of being chosen by what she thinks are the loves of her life. Yeah, I'll read this passage from the book. I believe this was my destiny, for a plane to recognize me as a soulmate mid-flight and, overcome with passion, relinquish his grip on the sky, hurling us into the earth in a carnage that would melt our souls for eternity. I couldn't alter my fate, but perhaps with the vision board's help, I could hasten its arrival. She gets on the plane with Karina. Mind you, Karina is deathly afraid of flying. They get on the plane together. Linda feels the strum of the airplane calling her name, like, bro, me and you are gonna be together forever. She's like, bro, this is it. I know Karina is so afraid, but I have to let her know. I would be a terrible friend if I didn't tell Karina we're not gonna land. So she literally turns to Karina and is like, I should have told you before, I whispered. Last night when you said you'd always thought it was your fate to die in a plane crash, I've always known it was my fate too, and I think it will happen today. She pulled her hand away. What are you talking about? This plane wants to marry me. I felt it the moment we boarded. As I said it, N549UW's hum intensified, as if confirming what I said. Linda, you're scaring me. She looked up the aisle. The procession of passengers had thinned. The boarding process was almost complete. In another minute, they'll close the door and it'll be too late, I said. If you want to live, you should go, before it's too late. She turned to me with a frantic look. I thought you said flying was safe. In most circumstances it is, but I believe our fates are somehow interwoven. For a moment, I savored the possibility that she'd consent to dying on behalf of my eternal union with N5. I can't imagine a better way to be married than on this flight with you, I said, my eyes tearing up. You asked me to be your bridesmaid. Now I'm asking you to be mine. It felt so freeing to finally tell the truth. You're so fucked up, Linda, Karina said. She was already in the aisle, pushing her way to the front of the plane. She said something to the flight attendant who nodded and guided her out the door. So at the end of this book, Linda goes through this flight bender where she just got a bunch of money from her settlement with Dave, and she decides that she wants to do a flight binge because the flight that she was on when she was 13 with all the turbulence was back in circulation. So she decided she wanted to do a flight binge where she rides that same flight everywhere, all throughout town, all throughout the United States of America, and beg him through her presence and show him that she's his soulmate so he can crash and they'll be united together in marriage. Obviously, after this happened between Karina and Linda, they not really tight no more. I don't know how you recover from that. But Linda still goes and finds her and says, I'm going to bring Linda home. So she goes to try to bring Linda home, and they get on a flight back home to SFO. And at the airport, Karina confesses to Linda why she's so afraid of flying, because she thinks because she bullied this girl in high school, and the girl later, 4 years down the line, committed suicide. So she feels, rightfully so, that it's her fault, and she's been living with the skill every day. That's why she moderates the violence parameter at the social media job. So she sees horrible posts every day, the worst things you've ever seen. She sees them day in and day out. And it's starting to turn into this germaphobe because she thinks that if she gives the universe the opportunity, that God's going to take the opportunity to punish her. And she can't think of a better way than to be in the Lord's domain on a flight, that he's going to crash the plane as punishment. And low-key, I think it's the truth. Because when they get on the flight back to SFO, Linda feels the same feeling she felt on the flight earlier when her and Karina had flown together, because she feels like their fates are intertwined. She realizes that the plane recognized both of them. Perhaps I've been right all along to suspect my fate and Karina's were intertwined. She says, I have to tell you something, I whisper, but Karina cut me off. Stop, she said with a firmness that startles me. I was shocked by what I saw in her eyes. Understanding and acceptance. Not of me, but of fate. Linda, she said softly. I know. She took my hand and squeezed it. The door was sealed. We pulled back from the gate. Sunlight spilled across Karina's lap, highlighting the raised fibers of her leggings. She took a deep breath, then exhaled slowly through her mouth. I'm going to close my eyes now, if you don't mind, she said. Her hand still gripped mine. As we rose into the sky, a powerful vibration began, rattling my teeth and my skull. In my back pocket, the shard of plane gathered heat until I feared it would burn through my jeans. The fuselage shook with greater intensity as we rose above Chicago. We rolled left, the plane's wing pointing to the earth, a thin trail of smoke visible through the window. All the while, Karina's eyes remained closed, a vague smile on her lips. I held her hand until I could hold it no more. Did they die in a plane crash? I don't know. To me, they did. I think they did. I'm gonna go and say that they did. I want them to. I don't know. That's the thing about this book. Like I don't think I've ever wished for any character to die in a plane crash besides Nick in The Handmaid's Tale. Shit. I stand corrected. I was cheering, jumping for joy when Nick died in that plane crash. Oh, thank God. But I don't think I've ever read a book like this and been rooting for the main character, the protagonist, the person who you're supposed to love, to die in a plane crash. But I hope she did. You have to read this book to understand how badly she wants this. Like, she wants this more than anything. I think at the end of the day, underneath all of this, there's a surprisingly sharp story about desire and loneliness and obsession and the desire to want your life to finally begin. And I can't fault Linda for that. She feels like she's stuck in limbo, waiting for a plane to finally choose her. And if it's gonna happen, it might as well happen to her. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm rooting for this. I was rooting for her to go out. I'm sorry to all the other innocent people on the plane, but they're not real. This is the book. So I went to bed with a smile on my face because I took this as she got her wish and she was united with her plane and her best friend in eternal marriage, in an eternal union that is dying in a plane crash. So that's the way I'm choosing to go about it and the way that I'm choosing to end it. That's the thing about books. I can choose to interpret the ending however I want to and you can't stop me. Honorable mentions to the Chen family, Mr. Chen, Mrs. Chen, and Kevin Chen. Great characters. What an interesting touch. If you have any more book recommendations like Sky Daddy, please let me know because book was fire. Anyways, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like and subscribe. I'm gonna keep them coming. I'm gonna keep making more of these. So I'm really excited about this. Make sure if you're liking what you see so far, might as well buy low. You know what I'm saying? So like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. You know, it doesn't cost you anything and it means the world to me. So bye. Thanks for watching.